And it wasn't the first time they had crashed cars with rare parts. Of all the movies in the franchise and all the characters who have come through that franchise, there's only a few that actually give a shit about cars. I was with Jason Statham and Paul Walker in 2009 at Willow Springs. I have a video on my YouTube that says Paul Walker Track Day. The guy spinning out in the dirt in the 350Z is Jason Statham. Okay? Paul Walker was in an R35, an E46 race car, and a Porsche GT3 that day. And actually have footage of him in the car driving with his helmet on, but you can clearly tell it was him. And Ludacris is a car guy as well. And I know Jason Statham is. He's got Audis and Benzes and that kind of stuff. Don't know about Dwayne Johnson. But, several of the actresses literally didn't even know how to drive when they came on set. When we got Michelle Rodriguez, she didn't know how to drive. She didn't have a driver's license. Jordana Brewster got trained by the stunt director on Fast and Furious 1. Suki got trained in Too Fast, Too Furious by Randy Pobst, amongst other people, out there at the stadium where they play the bit where the Miami Heat plays, right there. They did a parking lot where they went out in a parking lot event where they destroyed a bunch of clutches and Evos and GTRs and S2000. But not only did she not drive a car, she obviously couldn't drive a stick shift. Pretty important considering that the only car that she would be driving is a stick shift S2000. So there was a lot of scary shit about that. And for the most, Paul was just starting to get started in driving, like performance driving. Yeah, he had a 66 Chevy 2 when I met him. He had got into an R34. I'd never seen him drive it yet. So he was having fun out there with all the cars, the Eclipses and the R34s. So he convinced John Singleton, who was big on letting people ad-lib. A lot of that movie was ad-lib. He wanted more realism, so Paul was like, come on, man, let me do a couple stunts. Come on, do a couple stunts. So the scene where he pulls up after the end of the race and does the e-brake slide to the thing, they rehearsed that over and over and over and over. It's the most basic move that every kid does with the first time he drives his parents' car alone. Back when we used to have a brake with a handle, now everything is a push button. And people are out to kill our fun. But anyway, so he does it and does that little thing. He's feel proud of himself. And now John Singleton is, okay, this guy's gotten it down. He's getting better. He's okay, we'll do it. So they let him do some of the driving sequence when he's being chased from the police with that ESD, the electrostatic discharge dart. Overcooked the corner, jumped the curb, hit a parking meter. It was all on film. There's actually an outtake floating around on the internet. And you see him go, shit, or whatever he said. So they're looking at the dailies of that. They're playing it back, and they busted the oil pan. The oil's coming out of the bottom of the car. They had to jack it up, put extra wheels on the car. The header panel by the radiator is crushed. The fender's toast. The headlights toast. The body kit's toast. The front spoiler's toast. All kinds of shit was broken. They left it in. So when that happened, that wasn't a stunt driver. It was a stunt car, but it wasn't a stunt driver. And it wasn't the first time they had crashed cars with rare parts. We had one issue where there was a Ferrari. Remember they broke the glass in the Ferrari to get the cigar out where they didn't know what it was. You couldn't get any glass for that car at that time. So they called this guy, John Weiser called this guy in England and said, we need glass. The place that has it is in England. He says, do you want me to go get it and ship it to you? No. You want to come to Florida for a weekend? So he bought him 2 plane tickets, one for him and one for the piece of glass, and put him on a flight, flew him to Florida, and brought him out here so that he could come be on set for 4 days to bring this part out. It was cheaper to do that than to ship the fucking thing. I was like, how is that possible? How is that possible? I don't know what airfares were going to England back at that time, but it's just anything to get the picture done. I think many people on this channel have heard the name Fast Live. It was a show that was produced only in Great Britain. I think they were doing a European tour at some point, or were planning to do so. But what was notable about that is that the little event series that they had going on, where they were going to use the Lamborghini and the Lykan Hypersport as part of the show. Now, if you don't know what it was, it basically looks like it was done in a hockey ring kind of thing, and they did some 3D screen projection thing to make it look like everything was moving and all that. And I imagine if you're 10 years old, you got a boner through the whole show. Anybody else is probably sitting there going, when's it start? When is it going to start? I've seen video of it. It looks spectacular for a young person, but probably not for a car person who wants to see people crash and stuff. So they had a lot of cars that were either inspired from the movie or replicas of movie cars. You had to have a Charger in there, and they had a Supra in there that was sort of close. So people were like texting me on Instagram, DMing me and all that stuff. Is that your car? Is your car over there? Did you even fucking see the movie? It's the wrong wing, it's the wrong wheels, it's the wrong color, it's the wrong hood. I mean, I feel insulted almost, right? But generally speaking, they were a good impression of the actual movie cars. And I don't know if there was legal copyrights or trademarks or they prevented them from doing exactly the same way. They really didn't need to do it the exact same way anyway. But these cars were fun and they looked like the movie cars. So they were starting to get ground. And then one day I get this text from one of the guys at the show. And he says, hey, you know anybody who wants to buy these cars? I said, what's going on? He said, we're shutting it down. I mean, you're shutting it down. I thought the thing was going balls out to the wall. You guys get expanding. You're going to Ireland. You're going to Lithuania, Bosnia, Kazakhstan. You're going all over the place. No, we had a problem. So I didn't hear anything for a while. I saw the cars start to get passed around, and they were getting sold. People hit me, secondhand, somebody hit me up if I wanted to buy one of the cars. I said, I don't want to buy a right-hand drive anything for America. Just I'm done with it. I'm kind of done with it. And then the story is that one or more of the partners had dug in and help themselves to some of the cash. And I'm not talking about the fake cash that they throw in the audience. I'm talking about the real cash. Now, my experience having run events and being around event promoters in my lifetime is pretty much universal. They're all f***ing scumbags. It's like Barnum and Bailey, right? You know that guy was a showman, but I'm sure he shafted some people out of it. Now, I'm not saying my guy had anything to do with it because I'm pretty sure he didn't have anything to do with that. He felt like the victim, and I'm sure he was the victim. But the whole thing dissolved very, very quickly, and those cars got passed around. I don't know where any of those cars are now. That Lycan and the Lamborghini, the Chargers and all that, they're not movie cars. They were never in the movie. They were never on set. Steering wheels on the wrong side in some of these cars. So if you're thinking whether or not Universal did something in Great Britain with these cars and repurposed them, they have not. And if you've seen a roller coaster ride, which is not really a roller coaster ride, the cars there are cars from set. And if you go to Universal Hollywood, California, the cars you see eroding and rotting over on the side as you go through the tram tour, yes, those are actual movie cars. They're just literally sitting there and rotting. So I have a contact over at Universal. I'm supposed to be able to get into Universal Studios after COVID and go there and inspect the car because it's a mystery of which R34 GTR is sitting there from the second movie because we're not sure. We've accounted for 3 of the 5 and 2 are missing. We don't know where those other 2 are. So it'll be interesting to think. I think it's Stunt 1 or Stunt 2. We'll have to see. But that car right there would be worth $1 million plus. And people are asking me, why don't you go buy it? Because Universal doesn't need $1 million. If I said, I'll buy that car from you for $1 million, they say, nah, I fucking care. It's a property. It's like a computer. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. Do you think they give a shit about $1 million? They couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. They're probably keeping it to the 20th year anniversary, and who knows what's going to happen with that.
Premier Financial Services has been a sponsor of the VINwiki YouTube channel for the last 4 years, and we love them for that, but we also love their Simple Lease. It's one of the most powerful tools in the world of exotic car financing. It allows you to minimize your payment, minimize your down payment, have the flexibility to move in and out of cars, and take all of the advantages that are available to a leasing structure. So check them out at the link in the description below. We appreciate their continued support of VINwiki, and since you heard about them last here on the channel, they were actually acquired by First Financial Bank USA. And what does that mean for you? It means they're now larger than any of the other exotic car banks you may have heard of. They can move faster, buy more deals, and give you even better customer service. So thank them for their continued support of VINwiki and use them as your tool to buy your dream car soon.